Good afternoon, everyone. So we are here to discuss the lesson in uses of ICT policies in teaching and learning in basic education, Unit 2C. So I am Ms. D. Emily Villacastin.
And my name is Gianni Marquilia.
So for today's topic, we have the RA 8293, which is the Intellectual Property Code of the Philippines.
And RA 995, which is Anti-Photo and Video Voyeurism Act of 2009.
So Intellectual Property Code of the Philippines. So intellectual property refers to creation of the mind, such as inventions, literary and artistic works, design, symbol, names, and images, in use in commerce. So intellectual property is protected in law by copyright, patents, and trademarks, which enable people to earn recognition and financial benefit from what they invent or create. The intellectual property system aims to foster an environment in which creativity and innovation can flourish. So let's define the term copyright. Copyright or author's right is a legal term used to describe the rights that authors have created and have over the literary and artistic works. And the works covered by copyright range from books, music, painting, sculpture, films, computer program database, advertisements, maps, and technical drawings. So, copyright protection extends only to expressions and not to ideas, procedures, methods of operations, or mathematical concept as such. So, there are two types of rights under copyright. So, first is economic right, which allow the rights owner to derive financial reward from the use of their works by others. So the second, we have the moral rights, which protect the non-economic interest of the authors. So most copyright owners has the economic right to authorize or prevent certain use in relation to a work or to receive remuneration for the use of their work. So economic rights has owner of the work can prohibit or authorize its production in various forms, such as printed publication, sounds recording, its public performance, such as in plays or musical works, and the example in the form of compact disc or DVDs, and its recording by radio, cable, or satellite and translation into other languages and its adaptation, searches, and novel into film of screenplay. So, example of a widely recognized is moral rights. It includes the right to claim authorship of a work and the right to oppose changes to a work that could harm to creator's reputation. According to the Berne Convention, copyright protection is obtained automatically without the need for registration or other formalities. Most countries have a system in place to allow the voluntary registration of the work. Such voluntary registration system can help solve disputes over ownership or creation as well as facilitate financial transaction safe and the assignment and the transfer of the rights and the Philippines copyright protection for the artistic, literary, and derivation works last during a lifetime of the authors, plus 50 years after the author's death. So now let's proceed to patents. A patent is an exclusive right granted for an invention, which is a product or a process that provides a new way of doing something or offers a new technical solutions to a problem. To get a patent, technical information about the invention must be disclosed to the public in a patent application in principle that the patent owner has the exclusive right to prevent or stop others from commercially exploiting the patented inventions. In other words, patent protection means that the invention cannot be commercially made, used, or distributed imported, or sold by others without the patent's owner consent. Patents are territorial rights. In general, the exclusive rights are only applicable in the country or region in which a patent has filed and granted in accordance with the law of that country or region. The protection is granted for the limited period, generally 20 years from the filing of the application. So now let's proceed to trademark. A trademark is a sign capable of distinguishing the goods or services of one enterprise from those of other enterprises. So a word is a combination of words, then letters and numerals can perfectly constitute a trademark, but trademarks may also consist drawings, symbols, and three-dimensional features such as shape and packaging or goods non-visible signs such as distinguishing features. So at the national or regional level, trademark protection can be obtained through registration by filing an application for registration with the national or regional trademark office and paying the required fees. And at the international level, you have two options. Either you can file a trademark application with the trade office of each country in which you are seeking protection, or you can use World Intellectual Property Organization or WebPost Madrid system. In principle, a trademark registration will confer an exclusive right to the use of the registered trademark. So this implies that the trademark can be exclusively used by its owner or licensed to another property for use in return for payment. Trademark rights are private rights, and protection is enforced through courts, and the term of trademark registration can vary, but it is usually um 10 years. It can be renewed indefinitely on payment of additional fees. So now let's move to the major part of this lesson, which is the Intellectual Property Code of the Philippines, or the Republic Act number 8293. So we have the author by the late senator, which is Raul S. Rocco. He was assigned into law on June 6, 1997, and took effect on January 1, 1998. That it shall protect and secure the exclusive rights of scientists and inventors, artists, and other gifted citizens to their intellectual property and creations, particularly when beneficial to the people such period as provided in the Act. So, Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines is a government agency mandated to administer and implement state policies and intellectual property to strengthen the protection of intellectual property rights in the country. So, as the DREAM Mandate Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines performs the following functions to protect and secure the exclusive rights of scientists, inventors, artists, and other gifted citizens to their intellect property and creation. So first, we have development. It is a development oriented that the office shall promote the use of patent information as a tool for technological development. So second, we have regulatory, that the office shall examine application and grant patents or register utility models, industrial design trademarks, geographical indication, and integrated circuits, that it shall help protect copyright by assisting it in the facilitation of the positive work with the National Library and registered technology transfer arrangements. And next, we have letter E that stands for enforcement. It shall undertake enforcement functions supported by concerned agencies such as the PNP, NBI, Customs, OMB, LGUs, and etc. That it shall conduct visits during reasonable hours to establishments and businesses engaging in activities violating intellectual property rights and provisions of the Intellectual Property Code based on the report information or the complaint received by the office. For the fourth is we have the adjudicatory. It shall hear and decide cases relating to violations of intellectual property rights, cancellations, and oppositions to registration, compulsory licensing, and subtitle disputes involving technology transfer payments. And so for the fifth, we have the mandate is it is a policy making that it shall coordinate with relevant government agencies and the private sector efforts to formulate and implement plans and policies to strengthen the protection of intellectual property rights in the country. And it shall also develop and implement strategies to promote and facilitate technology transfer. And for the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines, that it stands at the forefront of Filipino innovations while maintaining its delicate act of balancing the interest of the creator of intellectual property of the public through proper and efficient creation protection and utilization and enforcement of intellectual property of the office pride itself as a key dynamic partner in the promotion of intellectual property as a strategic tool to influence economic growth in the creative and innovative Philippines. So let's talk about the logo of the office. So the silver box represents the individual and combined human intellect, which is the source of all creative and innovative ideas. And the arrow points upward are forward signifying the collective progress of humankind. And the two boxes of the orange, this one, color of the creativity represents the intellectual property office of the Philippines, that it is a delicate rule in balancing the interests of the intellectual property owner. And that of the public viewer sees the tilted box standing on one of its corners, the stability brought about by the tilt detects disruption, which create new avenues for exploration and experimentation, invites enterprises to remain resilient amidst the blur of technological advancement and challenges many an idea to become relevant or face adolescence. Thank you for listening. That is Intellectual Property Code of the Philippines, RA 8293. And so let us all welcome Ms. Markella for her next report.
In this moment, we're going to talk about the Republic Act 995, or the Anti-Photo and Video Voyeurism Act of 2009. But before that, let's make these pictures. Next, please. First, we can see that someone's looking at the hole. Next picture is, we can see that there are a picture of girl or a video, and we are assuming, for instance, that this video or photo of a girl is naked and being posted in sites without her consent. And the questions are, is it illegal? Is there any law about this case? We can answer that question by the end of discussion. Next slide, please. Photo and video voyeurism means the act of taking photo and video coverage of a person or group of person performing sexual act or any similar activities, or of capturing an image of a private area of a person or persons without the latter's consent under the circumstances in which such person or person has or have a reasonable expectation of privacy. In this modern world of technology and internet access, pornography and scandals are inevitable. These videos were easily spread by the help of social media. Nowadays, photographs and videos are increasingly becoming center part of our everyday landscape of communication, and it is becoming more visible as people share it in digital platforms. This, however, becomes an issue when people share offensive photos and videos without the consent of the person or persons involved. Next, RA 995, also known as Anti-Photo and Video Voyeurism Act of 2009. This Republic Act is geared toward protecting and privacy, honor, dignity, and integrity of a person. Investigate Direction Number 2016-09 issued by National Headquarters PNP Directorate for Investigation and Directive Management, Camp Crane, Quezon City listed RA 995 as a special law that addresses gender-based violence or grants special protection to vulnerable sectors. It protects the victim who made to believe that they are performing sexual acts in private. A person violates this Republic Act when he or she has not obtained consent of any of the person in the picture or video, but chooses to copy, reproduce, and make public the said materials. Next, and let's talk about the description or the definition of terms. Next, let's talk about the description of terms that it be viewed by a person or persons. When we say broadcast, it is really intended or meant to inform or to show others what you really want to expose. Next is capture. When we say capture, it is with respect to an image means to videotape, photograph, film, record by any means or broadcast. It is the act of taking photo or videos, and it is broadcast that it may be videotape, photo, and film or records. Next, next is the female breast. It is the means by any portion of female breast. We also know that um, we don't really need to explain this part because we already know what is this, and it is one of the private part of the female. Next is the video and the photo and the video voyeurism. It is the means, the act of taking photo and video to the certain person or group of person while performing sexual act. Or for instance, you recorded a video to your friends making out or any similar activity or of capturing image of the private area of a person without consent. And any means, either picture or video of a sexual activities or private area of a person without consent, you may be charged to Republic Act 995. Any circumstances by selling, copying, reproducing, broadcast, sharing like passing it to share it, Bluetooth, email, or etc. And also making DVD or VCD and sharing it into internet, cellular phones, and similar means without the latter's consent. Um, Remember that when we broadcast or share sexual act or any private area of of a person without the latter's consent, we are um, doing the video and photo voyeurism. Next is the private area of a person means the naked or undergarment clad genitals, public area, buttocks, or female breast of an individual. And the male's breast is not covered by the law while any part of the female breast is. Next. Next is the prohibited acts. we're going to know what are the prohibited acts of Republic Act 995. First is to take photo or video coverage of a person or group of person performing sexual act. For instance, there are a group of men with one girl who's drinking alcoholic drink, and the girl got drunk, and they do something sexual activity or filming her um private areas without the consent of certain person. Next is to copy and reproduce with or without consideration. Next, please. And to sell or distribute, whether it be the original copy or reproduction. And for example, you are having its original or reproduction video to your ex-girlfriend or boyfriend and sell it or copy it without the consent to that involved person. And we can say that it is illegal. Next is to publish or broadcast, whether in print or broadcast media through VCD or DVD, internet, cellular phones, and other similar means. For example, is broadcasting such image to social media and share it to your friends. And we should be mindful for the things that we are doing, especially when we are hurting or destroying someone's image or life. With this Republic Act 995, it helps all the victims to have justice through good reputation law. Next, now we're going to talk about the penalty. Penalty of imprisonment of not less than 3 years but not more than 7 years, as and a fine of not less than 100,000 pesos for not more than 500,000 pesos. Under 995, the penalty of imprisonment range from 3 to 7 years, and bail is matter of the right under the Philippine laws, except where the impossible penalty of the crime the felonies committed is a capital punishment or the perpetrator committed as a capital offense. Next is the inadmissibility of evidence. Any record or video or copy, next please, thereof obtained or secured by any person in violation of preceding section shall be admissible in evidence in any judicial, quasi-judicial, legislative, and administrative hearing or investigation. These are the exemption of the law. And however, a peace officer who authorized by the written order of the court to use the record of any copy thereof is as evidence, and any copy thereof as evidence in any civil, criminal investigation, or trial of the crime of the photo or video verbatim, provided that such written order shall be only issued or granted upon written application and the examination under oath or affirmation of an applicant and the witnesses he or she may produce, and upon showing that there are reasonable grounds to believe that photo and video voyeurism has been committed or is about to committed, and that evidence to be obtained is essential to the conviction of any person for or to solution or prevent of such crime. And that's all for today's lesson. Thank you for listening, and God bless.